DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. Dr. Dan here. We're going to have a great show today. We're going to have friend and colleague, Dr. Chris Reinhardt. We're going to talk about mineral nutrition in cattle at different points in time of the life and a new product that's coming out on the market called ProFusion. It's going to be a great show. We got Dr. Chris back. We'll be right back after these messages.
As dependable as the sunrise, in dairy parlors, open pastures, on ranches and feed yards across America. A place where reputation is more than a name, where the science of healthier animals is a way of life. It's the responsibility that drives who we are and what we do. Every decision, every day. It's your livelihood and our responsibility.
Closed captioning is brought to you by ProFusion Drench for beef cattle, a no prescription, no needle supplement. To learn more, go to Zinpro.com.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here at Iowa State University, and today we have an old favorite, Dr. Chris Reinhardt. He was the first year we were shooting the show, even, maybe one of the first couple episodes, and great to be back, great to see you.
I tell you what, you're bringing back really fond memories, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we used to do a lot of running around together at Kansas State University, running the BCI and running the roads of western Kansas together, and lots of feed yards, and still doing a lot of work. Dr. Reinhardt is a nutritionist for Zinpro Corporation, and it just amazes me the depth and the breadth of your company. You've been around how long?
50 years in 2 months will be our 50th anniversary.
And so when you start to think about that, and the focus of the business is minerals?
Trace minerals.
Trace minerals.
Yep.
And if you look at the one thing that I've always associated with your company is quality. And just a better, higher quality product. And so when we start to think about some of these things, it's amazing to me the breadth that you have across all species.
What really the story behind that is once we get past a certain level, animals, regardless of species, humans included, have a tremendous amount in common. And that's why this technology is so useful really across species, including humans.
As you mentioned, you're now have a human trace mineral line, correct?
Yeah, we just launched in 2020. We launched a human line, Mend and Defend is what it's called, and it utilizes the exact same technology we're using in cattle, shrimp, dogs, cats, chickens.
So it's an amazing company. Check them out. But we're here today to talk about minerals in cows and minerals in steers and baby calves and different things like that go across the spectrum. But when we start to think about the different times in the lives of our cattle, what are some of those stressors or stress periods that we need to make sure that we have them nutritionally fortified?
As a feedlot nutritionist, my knee-jerk reaction is always going to be that new calf coming into the feed yard, both what we'll call high risk, but also even low risk cattle. We want to make sure that animal is fortified. But then there's tons of other opportunity where they're under stress, they're challenged, consumption may have not been up to target, where we could actually bridge that need or that demand.
And I start thinking about baby calves, I start thinking about cows pre-breeding, I start to think about receiving calves, weaning the calves, preconditioning at the home place, all of these different things that I could help get those bulls pre-breeding. We think about zinc and spermatozoa and fertility and different things to that nature. But if you were going to look at which minerals that you focus on at those points in times, which are the bigger minerals or most important?
Yeah, the ones we'll focus on when it comes to immune function and protecting that animal are going to copper, zinc, manganese, and selenium primarily are the ones we're really focused on.
And most all of these minerals have what we call antioxidant properties, correct?
That's true.
And when we have, they always say there's two reasons why an animal gets sick, either an overwhelming dose of a pathogen or a suppressed immune system. And this kind of product or these kind of minerals are helping with both sides of that equation, correct?
Exactly. I really like how you put that. If we had a two-pronged approach, could I protect the animal from the invasion from a physical barrier standpoint, but then also can I enhance the immune system to fight that pathogen off if it does enter the animal?
And so when we say that we're going to protect them from an invasion, that's at the level of the epithelium?
100%. And again, we've known about the important function of trace minerals for a long, long time, and yet we continue to learn more critical elements of protecting that animal. The role of zinc might play in that barrier function throughout the animal's body, for example.
Awesome. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll pick up on this immune system, growth, different ways you can tell the mineral status of your cattle, but we'll be right back after this message.
Producers know stress costs money. It puts their cattle at greater risk of illness and can be a substantial drain on animal performance. That's why Zinpro developed ProFusion Drench for beef cattle. Formulated with Zinpro's patented trace mineral technology, ProFusion Drench is a no-script, no-needle performance supplement proven to rapidly replenish essential nutrients lost during times of stress. For optimal results, use ProFusion Drench with Zinpro Performance Minerals in feed as part of a complete nutrition program. To learn more, go to Zinpro.com.
The state of Iowa and Iowa State University are proud to host the 2021 Beef Improvement Federation Annual Research Symposium and Convention. The convention will be located in downtown Des Moines with easy access to the airport, hotels, and local restaurants. Iowa State University is just north with its research and teaching farms. Join us in Iowa and experience how Iowa provides the beef industry with innovation to application.
ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need, from prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Chris Reinhardt. We're in Ames, Iowa, and just great to have you back on the show and visiting about cattle. When we start to think, when we left, the two things that we said we're going to do is we're going to protect from an overwhelming pathogen exposure in the immune system. What are the epithelial tissues and where are those located that you're enhancing and protecting from that invasion?
The obvious one when we think of epithelial tissue is the skin of the foot, for example.
Foot rot, hairy heel wart, different things like that.
Exactly, all of the invasions that cattle have to struggle with. But the other secret is that there's epithelial tissues related to the skin throughout the animal's body, most importantly for our world, in the trachea, in the lung, in the intestine, in the rumen. All of those tissues are epithelial tissues. And the one thing all epithelial tissues have in common is they've got proteins that tie those neighboring cells together to create that barrier function you're talking about and protect that animal from the outside world.
So on the flip side, if we don't have the invasion, or if it does get through, now we need to have an immune response. All of these products or minerals are antioxidants. which mean they also help the immune system go through its cascade to protect the animal as well, right?
Yeah, we talk about antioxidant status, and in human nutrition, that's a big topic right now. And to boil that down to the absolute essence, superoxides are toxic to tissue, right? They burst cells, they destroy cells and tissues. Antioxidants simply get rid of those toxins and get those out of the body.
So the other thing I think it's important to remember, we're only talking about health. The best way to pick up if you have a mineral deficiency is decreased conception rates and decreased performance.
Exactly. All of these trace minerals are going to also play a critical role in fertility.
Yep. So whether you're thinking fertility, you're thinking bovine respiratory disease, foot rot, hairy heel wart, scours in calves, all of these things are interrelated, and they're all different types of disease processes. Now, you were saying something during the break that copper is different, or the other zinc and selenium are different than copper when it comes to storage ability.
Yeah, Doc, you and I have been doing this a long time, and back in the 1990s, we had a really good understanding, or we gained a really good understanding that copper can be stored for long periods of time, kind of a feast and famine. Cattle can build up a supply, particularly in the liver, and then draw off that as the need arises. What we have learned is that zinc, selenium, and manganese don't function quite the same, and they're not mobilized near as readily as copper is. And so, frankly, we say zinc, manganese, and selenium need to be fed every day.
Okay. So with that in mind, when we go through these periods of stress, and if we haul cows or we haul steers or something to that nature, something that causes them, the first thing cow do is go off feed.
The stress response is huge in terms of suppressing appetite and their desire to eat.
And we all know that animals of the same size, one that's been stressed and one that hasn't been stressed, they have the same requirements. It's just the one that's stressed is going to eat less, so we have to fortify them or help bridge that gap.
Exactly.
So as we move forward and as we talk about this, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about some of the recommendations on minerals of what we're seeing during these times of stress and times of growth. And then we'll also talk about a new way to bridge that gap between one address and to the change of another. Thanks for watching DocTalk. We'll be right back after these messages.
Some call it a come from behind victory, an unlikely win, a reversal of fortune, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This is our moment, our victory dance, because we choose confidence. We choose Zinpro for BRD treatment. Ask your veterinarian to prescribe Zinpro. Zinpro is a fast-acting, long-lasting BRD treatment that you can count on to get the job done. Choose confidence. Choose Zinpro from Merck Animal Health.
Producers know stress costs money. It puts their cattle at greater risk of illness and can be a substantial drain on animal performance. That's why Zinpro developed ProFusion Drench for beef cattle. Formulated with Zinpro's patented trace mineral technology, ProFusion Drench is a no-script, no-needle performance supplement, proven to rapidly replenish essential nutrients lost during times of stress. For optimal results, use ProFusion Drench with Zinpro Performance Minerals in feed as part of a complete nutrition program. To learn more, go to Zinpro.com. ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need. From prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Chris Reinhardt. We're in Ames, Iowa. We're at the beautiful Iowa Cattlemen's Association building, which you need to see it if you come through Ames, Iowa. It's beautiful, it's Western, it's really, really nice.
It's a great facility. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so when we start to talk about minerals and things of that nature, You know, you have you've conducted a large study, 8-study meta-analysis at looking at Avelafor or your trace mineral packet and its ability to help decrease bovine respiratory disease.
Yeah, that was really a fun analysis to do. When we look for things like morbidity, mortality, we need a lot of cattle to tease out those differences. And we're a 50-year-old company. We've been doing research a long time. Research costs a lot of money, and to do it well and to do it properly. And I feel blessed to have the volume of data we have to go through. But yeah, we had 8 studies that looked at the effects of our trace mineral program on high-risk calves coming into a feed yard, and we saw right at a 21% reduction in morbidity post-arrival.
So, decrease in morbidity, any improvement in performance?
And a concomitant increase in daily gain. As you've taught me, the scales don't lie, and if animals are sick, they're not going to eat, they're not going to perform. If we can cut down on disease, they're going to perform better.
Yep, and I think that it's hard to understand, but there's a disease, subacute disease pattern that we can't identify. And the only way we pick it up is through that slight decrease in intake, which then gives us the decrease in performance. And so whether it's a parasite load or whether it's some sort of disease that we can't see, we will pick that up when we bring those cattle in and we weigh them off grass or we weigh them off test or whatever. And I think that's the thing is we always jump towards that, okay, we decrease pull rates, we decrease death loss, which are huge economically. But the other side of that, the flip side, whether it's pigs, cattle, chickens, whatever, it's the performance and the pounds that we wean, because that's what we get paid for.
It's sort of like that tip of the iceberg. If you can measure a drop in pull rates, you're going to measure a much bigger response in the average daily gain, because that's what we can see on the scale.
What are other time periods or other things that y'all have done your research in the beef industry? I know you've done some work on reproduction and conception rates in cows as well.
Cows and bulls as well. We've got research basically in all of the major stages of the fertile life of a brood cow. We've also got a fair bit of research on bull fertility as well. And again, all of those are going to benefit if you, what'd you say, protect the ability of the animal to protect themselves, tissue integrity, but then immune function as well. And bulls and cows need that help also.
So when you start to think about some of the different things that we see with fertility, again, it's an epithelial tissue, whether it's the reproductive, the testes, or whether it's the seminal vesicles on the bull, or whether it's the uterus and things to that nature on the dam. All of these things have to be protected from infections that could cause the abortions. Likewise, that antioxidant is helping those animals remove the threat or help with the immune system.
Yeah, it's what we talked about before in terms of the difficulty to measure differences is even more difficult when we're looking at a brood cow and a 9-month gestation period and things of that nature. And so that cow and those tissues, those organs are so important and vital for her ability to conceive and then carry that calf.
So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Dr. Reinhardt. We're going to talk about a new product called ProFusion that is a bridge to get you from point A to point B, and when they get to point B, before they get up on intake and different things to that nature. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back. The state of Iowa and Iowa State University are proud to host the 2021 Beef Improvement Federation Annual Research Symposium and Convention. The convention will be located in downtown Des Moines with easy access to the airport, hotels, and local restaurants. Iowa State University is just north with its research and teaching farms. join us in Iowa and experience how Iowa provides the beef industry with innovation to application.
Producers know stress costs money. It puts their cattle at greater risk of illness and can be a substantial drain on animal performance. That's why Zinpro developed ProFusion Drench for beef cattle. Formulated with Zinpro's patented trace mineral technology, ProFusion Drench is a no-script, no-needle performance supplement proven to rapidly replenish essential nutrients lost during times of stress. For optimal results, use ProFusion Drench with Zinpro Performance Minerals in feed as part of a complete nutrition program. To learn more, go to Zinpro.com.
As dependable as the sunrise, in dairy parlors, open pastures, on ranches and feed yards across America. A place where reputation is more than a name, where the science of healthier animals is a way of life. It's the responsibility that drives who we are and what we do. Every decision, every day. It's your livelihood and our responsibility.
ValleyVet.com is your one-stop shop for your every animal need, from prescription meds, vaccines, equipment, and more for the ranch to the show ring. Shop ValleyVet.com for fast shipping and great prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with my friend and colleague, Dr. Chris Reinhardt. He is a nutritionist, ruminant nutritionist, and we've worked together for 20 years. And have just had a great relationship at Kansas State University, and now Dr. Reinhardt is a nutritionist at Zinpro Corporation. You probably see more cattle now than ever.
And not just in the United States. I see, and that's what's been, I guess, edifying for me, to get to see situations outside the United States. Cattle are the same, and the problems are the same no matter where I go.
Well, I've always said too that, you know, the problems that we have in our industry haven't changed much over 100 years. It's just different people and different cattle going through it.
That's exactly right. And everywhere we use cattle to provide food, we're struggling with the same circumstances.
So let's talk about this new product because it intrigues me. To mineral drench with the minerals that you just described that are doing the things for BRD and doing the things for repro. You're just taking them from the feed bunk and we're putting them into a jug that we're going to drench.
And we've actually left out one critical element, and that's the vitamin E. That also has antioxidant properties and really helping support that same process.
So that is in this product called ProFusion.
Correct.
So just tell me a little bit about ProFusion and what it is.
Roughly speaking, it's a multi-day supply in a totally water-soluble form where we can provide a drench, an oral drench to calves, cows, or baby calves to really bridge during that low intake time you're talking about, where the calves may be coming in deficient, they're not ready to really go on feed and consume yet. And so for a period of days, we can actually bridge that lack of intake, lack of consumption by simply providing those on arrival.
And you have some research to show that you're increasing those zinc, the selenium, the copper levels just from a single dose, right?
Yeah, we've got 3 studies on arrival calves that showed in 48 hours we're boosting the circulating status of copper, zinc, manganese, and selenium by 10 to 20%.
So going back to what you had said earlier about copper can be stored, but these others can't, that makes that bridge time, or that time where animals have decreased intakes, makes this vital.
Exactly, and we talked about the antioxidant status, but we've identified close to 400 different systems that zinc is essential for in the mammalian body. And all of those things are going on all the time, every day. And if that calf isn't eating and consuming an available source of zinc, we've got to bridge that gap somehow to keep those functions rolling.
So with this product, can people buy it over the counter, or do they need to have a prescription?
No prescription needed, totally over the counter.
So it's available today.
Today.
All right. Well, thanks for the education on minerals. And again, folks, I think the take home is that protecting that animal, good epithelial tissue to protect from the disease from entering the body or the pathogen from entering the body, and then boosting that immune system, understanding that animals need them throughout their entire life and every function that we have depends on them.
It's fascinating. The science keeps growing and we keep learning.
And now you have a human product.
That's also exciting.
So, thanks for joining us today on DocTalk. Remember, if you want to know more about what we do, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. Always work with your local practitioner. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson with Dr. Chris Reinhardt here in Ames, Iowa, and we'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning is brought to you by ProFusion Drench for beef cattle, a no prescription, no needle supplement. To learn more, go to Zinpro.com. DocTalk was brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.